Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we embark on a really stupid project. That was dumb. That was dumb. Every tool's a hammer, unless it's a screwdriver, then it's a chisel.
We need a torch. Hate that nut.
We're not doing that. Because it ain't built till it's overbuilt. Every day's a school day. So since I'm an expert now on fixing, gravestones and such, I decided best thing to do would be come springtime, I'm going to restore a whole cemetery. Yeah, this sounded better before I said it out loud. Anyway, in town here, there's a very old cemetery, the first one. It's got like the founding fathers in there, and it's in pretty bad shape. A lot of stones are really leaning. Several of them have broken. One of the first things I have to tackle is it's being invaded by brush. So my suspicion is I'm going to get the brush cleared back, and I'm going to find there's more stones that have tipped over and are buried in leaves and stuff out in the brush. So step one out of 738 million steps is going to be to get the brush cleared, right? Well, I can't get in there. I don't dare to go in there with my backhoe because there's all these voids in the ground, and I'm afraid I'll fall into one, and I don't want to do that. So I've decided most of the brush is just little stuff. What I'm going to do is try to build a tool to pull the brush out. Okay, let me summarize. Today's video is going to be about building a tool to pull brush. We don't even have to talk about all this cemetery stuff, okay? Like usual, I did a very minimal amount of research, and now I feel like I'm an expert. And you can buy the tool that I'm going to build online for $300. Why would I spend $300 when I can spend like $1,200 in labor and metal and stuff? So that's the plan, if you want to call it that. It starts with some used big rig brake shoes my buddy Jimmy gave me. Thanks, Jimmy. I bet you wondered what they were for. Anyway, that's what we're going to start with. Let me just show you. I'll bring you in here and I'll show you what I'm thinking. I don't know if I can even say at this point that I'm thinking. I'm not thinking very clearly, I don't think. Okay, so here's the gist of what's going on here, all right? I want a simple tool that has a long handle, and you set it on the ground, it'll grab the trunk of a small piece of brush. When you pull the handle, it needs to squeeze, and then it needs to roll the thing up out of the ground, right? So, like I said, you can buy such a thing. This is not a new invention. But I thought, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool shape right there for the rolling it out of the ground part. If I just had a handle, let's pretend this is a little tree, okay? If I just had a way of having a handle here and something to grip that tree right there, and then when you pull back on the handle, it would rock this brake shoe. That should be a pretty nice smooth motion to roll that thing up out of the ground. And that's the end of the part that I have figured out. Just not much, I guess. Like I said, this made more sense when I thunk it inside of my brainium, but now that I've let it come out, my vocalizer, it makes a lot less sense. I'm just gonna keep plugging away here until I figure out something, and then I guess I'll let you know. So see, this kind of engineering I call not engineering at all, actually. What I do is I grab pieces of scrap metal from under my bench and I flip-flop them and lay them around in a way that until I see something that I think might work. And then I just start welding and drilling and whatever. And here's where I'm at. Humor me. So this is your tree anchor outer. Probably should have a cooler name. Put in the comments what you think I ought to name it. Here's the idea, the plan, whatever you want to call it. You take this thing. This is a small tree. You take it, you slide it in either side. You can do lefties or righties. That way, if you're working, you don't have to pull it out and go around the tree. You can, if you just did one over here and you want to do one over here, you just slide it over. Plus, it was easier this way. So, here's what I'm thinking. This piece gets welded right in. So this is all solid. The brake shoe and this center piece. This one slides. So that's your squeezerizer right there. The tree is in there. It squeezes it, and then you rock it to pull it out. Rock it up out of the ground. So, we need to squeeze, right? So we cut a slot in here. Boop. We drill a hole in here. And we put a piece of steel in there and we put a bolt through so it can pivot down here somewhere. Down here we weld a little piece of steel on with a hole through it. Up here we put a piece of steel on each side that goes down to that. So when your handle's forward, it's out there. And then when you roll your handle back, it pulls that in until it hits a tree, squeezes the bejingles out of it. And then once it can't go anymore, it just rocks this thing back. That way it kind of adjusts to whatever size tree you happen to have. Why wouldn't that work? Well, I can think of 30 or 40 good reasons, but I think it's worth a try. I think. I'm going to think on it a little more. I think I might just, cobble it up, weld it, crudely and as quickly as I can. We'll just see if it works. And then if it breaks or falls apart, then at least we know the idea works. We can refine it from there. I've got 3 more brake shoes, so it's like a whole set. I can fail 3 times and still have one good one. So this is failure number 1. I think it just got a name. Okay, failure number 1. I got my blueprints all done, and by blueprints I mean Sharpie marker on pieces of metal. So this will be the base for the handle and the lever yanker puller. I gotta slot this yet. That'll go down in there with a bolt through. And then in that I'll put a hole there. And I found some 80 chain, a couple offset links and a repair link. That's rated for like 200 horsepower, so that's plenty strong. That'll go around, this pin will go through that hole, like that, right around that thing. The other end of it, I'll put a hole in this block. That pin will go through there and it'll get welded on here. And then when you pull the lever, it'll slide this thing forward. Squeezer, yeah, I think it might work. I even found a spring from an old bed frame. I think I can tap a hole there and weld something out here so that it pulls it back out when you're done. Holds it open. Then on this end of this thing, I'm going to put 2 holes. I'm just going to slide a piece of steel pipe down over for a handle, put some bolts through, and I don't have quite the right, it's not like a tight fit, but I'll just squazzin it right out around and hold it on there, and that'll be a long handle. So I think I'm ready to start poking holes in things and stuff like that. Okay. Cut that out. Okay, fast forward a bit. I didn't video some of this work. Trying to keep my videos shorter. I feel like they might be too long, too boring. Put in the comments if you'd rather see all that nonsense or just the end result like this. Or let's not say end result, because this is as yet untested. But I drilled the holes anyways, like I said. Drilled a hole in this thing, welded that together, got all this burned together, cut the slot in here for this thing to move in, see? Now you can see kind of what I'm, oh, why it binds like that? It probably won't work. Oh, she's gnarled up. I'll have to smooth it up. Anyways, you can see how it's supposed to work now, right? You got a piece of brush in here. When you pull the lever, it squeezes it closed and pulls it out of the ground. Now I'm just gonna go outside and try it out. Shouldn't be hard to find a couple pieces of brush that need to die around here. This thing's pretty janky, to be honest. My handle's kind of crooked, and well, there are issues, let's just say. But we're gonna go outside and give her a rip, see what happens. If nothing else, we're gonna learn how to not build a tree anchor outer, right? Every day's a school day. So there's some brush. Well, it's dead, it broke off. Okay, that was probably a little easy because it was dead. Let's see what else we can find. This one looks a little more lively. Slip a little. Needs traction. We got too much sliption. We need more gription. There. That's how it's supposed to be. I think we're close. That's what you call almost good. Try this one. Oh, that one's kind of dead too. I think the dead ones are harder than the live ones. Definitely needs more grip. We're close though, I'll tell you. For the first round, that ain't bad. All right, we're back in the shop. I've got an idea, okay? We need grip. I've got some old key stock. I think what I'll do is I'll weld a piece on the very bottom, and then I'll weld a couple, one on each side up here. And let me show you. When this thing is closed, the one on the bottom will be just below. That shows in the video, but the edge of the brake shoe is what it grips onto. Oh, another thing I need to do is grind a little weld away, because that can't close all the way, and maybe that's important. I don't know. Anyway, we'll weld a piece on the bottom, and that'll be below the other grip, and then we'll weld a piece. I don't have enough hands to show you, really. But we'll weld a piece of key stock on the bottom, a piece of key stock just above the brake shoe. And that's going to give her, and then I'll grind it and make sure it can close all the way. That's going to give her super gription. No more sliption. Right? Got to work. Has to. work. We'll see. Okay. If that don't have the grab we need, I don't know what will. All right, it looks mean. I also cleaned it up so it slides smoother and sprayed some grease on there, some spray grease. I like to do it while it's good and hot so she burns in. Now it slides really nice. I think we're ready to go give her another try. Some more brush has got to die today. Before I do that, just wanted to say, it's after Halloween. You know what that means. Time to take the screens out of the windows in the house, and everybody knows what that means, right? Time to start the Christmas music. Yeah. You guys are with me, right? Love Christmas music. Don't care for the Hallmark Christmas movie. You know why? Actually, that's not true. I love the Hallmark Christmas movie. They're all exactly the same. They're the same exact thing. This one's at a horse ranch, this one's at a ski mountain, this whatever. But they're all the same movie. We don't need 2 channels of them running for 3 months, okay? That's too far. But I'll start my Christmas music in November. I love it. Jiggity jig, ee-haw, ee-haw. It's good, right? Yeah. What's another good one? Grandma got run over by reindeer. You guys aren't with me, are you? Okay, whatever. I got something to show you over in the corner before we go out. I call that number 28. Now look. That's 28 this fall, dead mice. And it's cost me no peanut butter. All I do is my crappy door, little drafty, so I ram a blanket under there. I just leave the corner open, put the trap right there with no bait, and those things just keep snap, snap, snapping. 28th time this fall. I'm gonna keep killing them. I'd like to eradicate the species, actually. Well, I decided rather than just wander in the woods and yank out trees that don't need to get yanked out, I'm gonna go back down to the old folks home, or whatever you want to call it, where I did a couple previous videos down there, and now there's a bunch of brush kind of encroaching on the walking path. So I'm gonna go down there and maybe yank some out. Got my pole saw with me, got my beautiful plow truck. Boy, that's a good looking rig. I was gonna take my wife, but I decided I wouldn't. First of all, it's not really date night, but also my truck has a lot of black mold creeping out of the defrosters. Probably not real good for me either, but also you get her up to about 25 or more, and it seems like every time a mouse comes running out of the defrosters up into your grill, or else it comes out of the heat vents or something. And I don't think my wife would be so lighthearted about it. Let's put it that way. Anyways, we're gonna go down. We're gonna try out the Tree Anchor Outer Revision 1, 2. I think since I tried it and had to weld on some grippers, it's Revision 2. Maybe the final. Doubt it. Revision. No. Okay, let's go. You like my hat, by the way? I've had this hat for longer than I've had a wife. Probably 45 years, 3 years, I don't know. How old am I? 30, 35. Maybe not as long as I've had a wife. Well, I've had a wife for a long time. She's lucky. All right, updates. My plow truck is really great. Seems to be stuck in first gear. So, good news about that is you go so slow that you don't jar the mice out of the defroster. So, glass half full. Here's what we're up to. You can hear my truck in the background. Can't shut it off. Won't start. Anyway, in an older video, I fixed these lights down here. And you know, remember, I don't know if you'll, well, go back and watch it. Okay, I need the watch hours, all right? So just do it. But they were on all the time. I guess the people that run the place must have fixed that, because they turn themselves on and off now. It's dark, which is nice. But these trees, they're getting a little, this one's not too bad, getting a little bit low. I'll trim some of that off, but like that one's touching the light up there, so I'll trim that away. When the leaves are on, it really, a lot of these branches block the light from the sidewalk. So I gotta like pretend there's leaves and trim accordingly, because I didn't get it done when the leaves were on. But this side over here is really kind of starting to hang over the sidewalk. Some of these higher branches hanging out over, and then some of this low stuff here is like, you know, too close. So I brought my pole saw, combination of that and tree anchor outer Rev 2. We're gonna see if we can, you know, just clean some of this crap up, that's all. All right, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's give her a try. Look at that. Still breaks off the trunk a little, but kind of loosens the roots up. So you can do a good job. I mean, you get the whole thing and the roots. Look at that. That's nice. That one has a serious taproot. I mean, that's pretty darn deep. There's me foot. Hold it right out. I mean, this is sandy soil, I'll give you that. But, I don't know, works pretty good. It doesn't slip. The old grippers made it work pretty good. You can see, I don't know why it works, because it is how it is. Okay. That's an engineering term. All right. I'm just gonna finish up, yank out a few more, cut a little more, and we'll be out of here. I don't know if the if the time lapse showed it well, but I mean, these choke cherries are kind of nasty, and although it didn't yank them out all the way in one crank, it yanked them out quite a ways, and then I was able to grab them by hand, just pull them the rest of the way. Again, this is sandy soil, so maybe wouldn't have worked if it had been in the clay somewhere, but it sure worked good here. Roots and all, you know. Something like that's too big. The jaws don't even open that far, and there's no way I could pull it out. But, yeah, I think we got it. Opened up. I just got to load up the brush here, and I'll be out of here. Now, I was not trying, I'm trying to get it so the light shines to the path, right? I mean, this one's easy. There's no trees that hang over these two lights. But on the other end, those two lights, they had a lot of branches in between them, and I wanted to make sure that the light could go from one light, you know, at least halfway to the next one, so it lights up the walk all the way next summer when the leaves are back on. I think I got her opened up pretty good. Nothing's touching the light fixtures anymore either, so they won't get damaged. I think we're good. Tried to leave as much as I could along the property line here, in case these folks want a buffer that live next door. I get that, especially with the lights being on now at night. So that's it. We'll clean up this brush and we'll be out of here. There's a lot of berry bushes growing in here. And in this area, they're hanging over the edge. I'm gonna leave them for now, and next spring I'll come in here with my brush hog and I'll cut off these bigger ones flush, and I'll just grind all this up, and that should keep all this stuff at bay for a while. All right, last piece of brush. This is all cleaned up, looking good, except for, like I said, a little brush hogging along the bank here next spring, and it'll be real nice again. But I wanted to show you this. This was the grandfather of them all as far as the length of the taproot, but that's where the ground was, right there. That thing goes that far, and it had side roots going out quite a ways. And that piece of welded up crap just yanked it out. I mean, I had to pull a little bit by hand because it doesn't pull quite far enough, but that's pretty cool. I mean, my foot's right on the ground. I'm not playing any games with the camera. That's a size 11. That's a big taproot. So it's kind of a cool tool. I think it's going to be handy for me. All right, so once again, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. I really do appreciate you. I got a great idea. Look down there at the bottom and see if it says subscribed or if it says subscribe. Okay, if it says subscribed, don't touch it. If it says subscribe, click it, okay? I need you to click it. Here's another big idea. Call, text, email, whatever, 3 of your friends and say, hey, go watch The Town Tinker. And make sure they understand the whole subscribed thing. It's important that we get this right, okay? I'm past 800. I need to get 1,000. I'll be honest with you. Video and everything I do, well, the things that I do video, kind of a pain. And if I can't get to 1,000, it's gonna stop. So I've been at it over a year now. It's going fine. It's not your fault, okay? I'm not saying it is, but unless you didn't click subscribe yet, then it's your fault. Need to get there. Need to get there, or else need to stop spending my time setting up shots, redoing shots, editing video, all this stuff. But look, if you can get me there, if this is stuff you want to see, I'll keep bringing you along. I don't mind doing it, as long as there's some reward. All right, that's enough for now. I hope you enjoyed it. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.